Greetings to all our learners. Welcome to CEC lecture. Dear learners, the topic of analysis that we shall focus on is public administration and globalization. In the lecture, we shall analyze the impact of globalization on public administration. We shall try to understand how bureaucracy and various theories associated with bureaucracy, related principles of management involved in administration, how they are being redefined because of rise of global forces, which indeed redefine the ambit of authority and responsibility. In the lecture, we shall understand the role of public administration in a globalized world. We shall understand that how public administration, when seen in a comparative perspective, is facing similar challenges as well as opportunities with respect to several nation states due to globalization. The context of globalization will be understood in a deeper manner to reflect on governance practices, intergovernmental networks, and the bigger question of how public administration is being revamped. When we talk about public administration and situate it within the realm of social sciences, dear learners, we must underline the fact that public administration is a new discipline as compared to other social sciences. To add here, when we look at history, it has always existed. It can be bifurcated into ancient, medieval, and modern. But when we look at administration, no doubt it has always played an important role in governance. Example, Kautilya's Arthashastra, the Magnus Opus, how it talked about governance mechanism. It gave insights into realms of administration, fiscal practices, basis of taxation, amongst others. So, administration has always acquired a very significant role in the study of political science. But public administration as a distinct discipline is relatively new and young as compared to other social sciences. Public administration today, though it emerged late in the realm of social sciences, but when we look at the realm of competitive examinations, higher studies, public administration is emerging as an area that arouses great enthusiasm from learners, researchers alike. When we use the word administration, this comes from the Latin words ad and ministere, which means to serve. When we use the word administration, synonymous ideas like management of affairs, looking after the people is often used to delineate and underline what is the bigger idea that is being projected with administration. Now we take reference to some important definitions of public administration, and then we shall revisit these definitions again once we initiate the debate on globalization. According to L.D. White, and we take the definition from popular online search, as the definition goes, and we quote, public administration consists of all those operations having for their purpose the fulfillment or enforcement of public policy. So, this definition gives us the idea that public administration involves the realms of processes that have a direct bearing on fulfillment of public policy. Another important definition that we collect from online search is by Pliffner, which says, and we quote, public administration consists of getting the work of government done by coordinating the efforts of the people so that they can work together to accomplish their set task. Now, it is essential two important ideas that are coming from this definition, namely work of the government, secondly set task. Why we are picking on these words? Because we must underline that work of the government and the ideas and processes involved therein are multifaceted and multidimensional today. And this is related to the second word that is used in Pliffner's definition, that is set task. Because of magnanimity and colossal nature of governmental enterprise, tasks are also getting redefined every time, and these tasks have a direct reference to the aspect of contested and complex nature of governance. An important definition of public administration that we shall understand now is that by Professor Woodrow Wilson, and we quote, Professor Woodrow Wilson opines, public administration as detailed and systematic execution of public law. Every particular application of general law is an act of administration. What is essential to be seen in these remarks of Professor Woodrow Wilson, and the word that we will be focusing on is public law. Today, because of globalization, rise of new forces of governance, the ambit of law, both at domestic as well as international realm, when we put it in the bigger framework of public law, is facing new challenges. Dwight Waldo defines public administration, and we quote the definition from online search, that is art and science of management as applied to the affairs of the state. Dear learners, it is important to understand that when we are looking at the art signifies the idea of doing things in a distinct way, and this art is being challenged because the context within which, when we look at a comparative scale for respective nation states, the context of public administration seen in a comparative framework justifies the idea that there are new challenges, and the science of management also, which emerges, that is science which means a definite theory of knowledge, that is also witnessing new research as the realm of public administration is being redefined. Now, when we are talking about nature of public administration, that's our next segment, and herein also we shall try to situate how globalization, changes in global realms is casting a big question mark on the two divergent views regarding the nature of public administration. So, let's now delve into nature of public administration, the popular perspectives there, and how the views are being challenged now. The first view, the integral view, dear learners, this opines that public administration is seen by this perspective as sum total of all activities undertaken in pursuit of and in fulfillment of public policy. Professor L.D. White's perspective here that public administration consists of all those operations having for their purpose the fulfillment or enforcement of public policy is important here. Now, as we are debating the integral view, it is also very essential that this integral perspective, when we situate it in the global landscape where globalization has redefined the ambit of governance, the idea of activities with the rise of communication, with the rise of technology, with the rise of techno governance platforms is also undergoing change, and this is also then having an impact on the implementation of public policy, public law, amongst others. Another significant perspective that comes from the managerial view, that is, administration herein is seen as functions of planning, programming, organizing activities in order to achieve the desired ends. Luther Gulick's views here, that is, administration has to get things done with the accomplishment of defined objectives. Herein again, dear learners, as we are revisiting that how globalization impacts administration, it is important for us to underline that the idea of defined objectives in a global world is constantly being refined and redefined because of process of forces of globalization which cut across all borders, and they are beyond the reach of respective nation states and their administration. We now go toward the next aspect of our lecture, that is growth of public administration. Now herein, dear learners, what we shall try to do here is that in every stage we shall try to understand what distinct aspects public administration offered to the study, and then underline that how in the contemporary scenario the distinctness that every phase presented, how it is under scanner, how it is being redefined. When we talk about growth of public administration, in the first phase, now roughly if we go by the popular terminology given in several research and reference textbooks of public administration, that is 1887 to 1926. Herein theorists underline Professor Woodrow Wilson's work and the important article entitled as The Study of Administration, published in 1887. Professor Woodrow Wilson emphasized the need for studying public administration as a discipline apart from politics. The dichotomy, that is, separation of politics and administration. Dear learners, it is very important for us to understand that power, which is the very important basis of politics. Politics has been also defined as who gets when, what and how. Now, our power has also been seen by the system's perspective with a bigger picture of authoritative allocation of values. When we situate this dichotomy of politics and administration in the contemporary times, somewhere there, when we look at several examples from global scenario, there is a question mark that can administration be really separated from politics? Another important phase in the discipline of public administration was from 1927 to 1937, wherein principles of administration wherein focus on public administration as a science. Now, when we see that how science, if by science we understand that it is a theory of knowledge, this aspect is continuing again because with new challenges in the context of administrative frameworks, new theories are emerging. In the third phase, roughly we go by the timeline of 1937 to 1947, one finds that there was an era of challenge, human relationship, behavioral approach emerging, and here somewhere the idea of administrative dichotomy was rejected. What is essential to be seen that how today in the present scenario, human relations are also witnessing new dynamics. For example, technology has redefined governance practices. Today we are living in a world where robotics, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, big data is redefining not only government mechanisms but also individual to individual, state to state approach to tackle with big problems that are confronting nation states today. The next phase, wherein 1947 to 1970, that is the post-Second World War period, herein some important work that emerges, and these works also give huge reflections for contemporary policies of today. Paul H. Appleby work Policy and Administration 1952, Frank Marini's work Towards a New Public Administration 1971. Now, these works and the main debates in this time framework, say 1947 to 1970, it talks about the ineffective, the wasteful bureaucracy, and also it puts the big picture on inclusion of other social sciences knowledges. What is essential to be seen that how interdisciplinarity, how multidisciplinary perspective is very much needed in contemporary times to deal with the complex problems that administration has to tackle. And to add to that, how time and again there is a debate or relating to fiscal prudence, there is a debate with respect to better efficient management system, on how there are question marks whether should we have big bureaucracy or not, whether rewards should be related to outcomes or not. In the final phase, which is still continuing, where we see that with the emergence of development administration, comparative public administration, new public administration, globalization, what we see here is that the contours of the discipline are constantly being re-revised. And by re-revision, we mean that how the context of globalization, it changed the world. It changed the apparatus within which public administration existed. Governments interact with citizens, but the context of interaction has changed. Today, there is a lot of research being done how governments, they function with other governments around the world, and how globalization, the process of integration, interchange, has an impact on it. With the rise of new economic and political regimes, nation states have to readjust their domestic agenda and mechanisms, and thereby this has an important bearing for not only domestic and administrative mechanisms, but also for the bigger ideological perspectives that must guide respective nation states in their approach towards both levels, global governance as well as domestic governance. Globalization has led to new dimensions of interdependence and interactions amongst nations and peoples around the world. It has far-reaching changes when we try to situate it at the political level, and all these far-reaching changes that we shall discuss now, they have a huge bearing on the administrative apparatus of respective nation states. When we look at the political level, today with the rise of forces of globalization, neoliberalism, capitalism, and to add to that the related debates on them with respect to gains, with respect to losses, the world also recently witnessed the debate on globalization versus deglobalization versus reglobalization. As we saw during the Paris Peace Agreement, we witnessed it during the trade war. What is essential to be seen that in the political realm, how sovereignty and territoriality, which were the hallmarks of the Westphalian state sovereignty, are challenged. Now, once this Westphalian state sovereignty is challenged, the organizational apparatus to lead the state, namely bureaucracy, also witnesses impact of it. When we look at the economic realm, that how earlier the idea of economics, namely as the world saw that there were two broad models during the Cold War, namely the socialist model, the communist model driven by centralized planning, central government control, versus the capitalist model based on laissez-faire. Now, with the end of the Cold War, in the post-Cold War era, the neoliberal driven globalization defined the agenda of economic governance of various nation states. Now, this change in the ideological framework of economic practices impacts the adjustment processes that respective nation states have to undergo at their domestic administrative mechanisms, domestic law of the land, amongst others. To relate to that how politics and economic aspects, they work in a bigger framework of social and cultural dimensional. Dear learners, it is important to understand here that how culture, which is defined by our norms, our values, how the process of societal interactions has a bearing with the government processes also. With the rise of westernization, rise of common language, rise of standard norms, debate on liberalization, Americanization, debates on hegemony, what one finds here is that in this multi-dimensional phenomena, administration also undergoes change, and thereby which with the process of multiplicity of linkages and interconnections, with intensification of levels of interaction, interconnectedness, interdependence between states and societies, the related processes of removal of trade barriers, rise of non-state actors, both with positive as well as negative impacts like multinational enterprises, rise of new forms of security threats, rise of foreign direct investment. So, in all this paraphernalia and governance process, administration indeed witnesses new inputs that it has to tackle. Administration then has to understand that the role of state today is much more under scanner than it was in the past. To say that state is no longer important would be wrong, because state is no doubt needed to maintain law and order, to present the framework of laws, norms, to ensure smooth facilitation from one form of governance to other forms of rise of new environmental and contextual aspects. So, in this phase what we see here is that administration then witnesses twofold perspectives. Number one, opening up of horizons of participation and deliberation, both at government level, and second, both at the level of multiple aspects of stakeholders ranging from civil society, non-governmental organization, business groups, commercial groups, media, rise of new forms of media. And to that, with this opening up of horizons of participation and deliberation, it also demands that administration had to be responsive as per the needs of the time. Therein, that administration, with the rise of globalization, administrative apparatus, because of ongoing debates within the narrative of globalization, had to be responsive to the concerns of the time, wherein what we see that across the nations one similarity existed, that the idea of national interest was much more holistic. Idea of national interest could not be just reduced to one parameter. Secondly, national interest has to be explored by government interactions with society, with citizens, with administrative apparatus, and this endeavor should be moving on a regular consistent framework. So, what one finds here is that within the realm of globalization there were new challenges as well as opportunities for nation states. With intensification of levels of interaction, it had a bearing on the inputs and the outputs that administrative mechanisms can deliver. With rise of interconnectedness and interdependence between states, societies, business groups, had a bearing on the bigger perspective of welfare, service, with respect to efficiency and fiscal prudence also, wherein which administrative apparatuses were judged. Dear learners, we hope that the lecture on public administration and globalization gave you significant inputs in order to understand the changing dynamics of globalization, its far-reaching political, economic, social, cultural dimension, and how this multi-dimensional phenomena with multiplicity of linkages and interconnectedness has an important bearing for administrative apparatus ranging from developed to developing countries to factor in order to ensure better delivery mechanisms, in order to have holistic comprehension of management of affairs between people and the government. Thank you very much for being with us for the lecture.